than we like to have it open like this. So one of the questions that we came up with in the survey and what comes up frequently is how to live a toxin-free life. Now, we really can't live a toxin-free life because of this. But we can, well, I'll show you in the next slide, but we want to teach you and teach ourselves and commit to recovering in place. We can't really go very far right now. And it seems like a lot of people are trying to, change or do something, and they're really having a struggle because they feel like they're all by themselves. And we're going to suggest that this is the perfect time in history for you to really recover from those things that have been just not working for you. And we can recover in place. And for this one, it's 30 days.
And we are just super optimistic and super excited about this whole concept, because it seems like for months, we've all been like, oh, shelter in place and avoid and, stay away from. And there's this whole feeling of fear and of just closing down. And it just struck us, no, this is the time to recover. We've all been stressed. We've all had challenges and pain and hurt, but we can, even if we can't go places, we can recover in place wherever we are. So we're just really excited about this whole concept.
So we know toxins are everywhere. 60,000 of them we're breathing, most of them in our house, but they're also outside. You breathe the air like that's out there right now, but it's also on and in the foods we eat. It's just everywhere we go. And our body is trying to deal with this. It's trying to understand how to recover from all of these excessive toxins that we are dealing with. And it's a very difficult thing to do. And we try to recover from this logjam that is created in us, and it's extremely difficult without some help. And that's what essential oils can do and will do, and so will herbs, and that's what we'll be using both of them as we take this 30 days to recovery. Now, the most important things that we can remember for recovery is we need to be eating well, okay? So we need to do our best to intake what's the best we can afford, the best we can have in our body, and try to not do synthetics. And we also need to consider lifelong vitality. That's super important. It'll come up in this, but just remember that. We need to, and we can take extra proteins. That helps also for our body to rejuvenate muscle. And then we can also have leafy greens in our diet. And then we can do things like eating fermented foods and spices. There are specific spices that can up your metabolism. And although we're not going to talk about those right here, we are going to talk about phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Activate, reset, and renew, a 30-day program that you can utilize and your friends and your family and anyone. And it's pretty simple. And so every day there are some things that we're going to do. So with phase 1, which is activate, we're going to support our body and we're going to be gentle about it. So the Zendocrine complex is incredible for helping support the liver. And so we want to use that to help the liver and the kidneys so that they function in an optimal way, so that toxins, as they're released into the body, can be expelled from the body, because our liver and our kidneys and all the systems, our circulatory system, are working at their optimum best. So this has wonderful herbs and other essential oils in it that will help us do that. So what do you do with it? Well, you take it and you also do the detoxification blend. Now, the detoxification blend, you might find you can tell that you're detoxing. And a lot of times when people detox, they feel as if they're getting ill. You may experience that. I do every time I do a detox, sometimes a little more than other times. And for the second day when I'm in a detox, usually maybe the third day, I'll feel kind of down and under the weather, or something like I just don't feel quite good. And, maybe, and sometimes it's like, oh, I've got to stop this is the first thought. But no, just relax and enjoy the experience of letting the toxins be removed. Then we're also going to do this Terrazyme, which is going to take one, you're going to help your body rejuvenate with enzymes. Okay, enzymes are so important to the body, our bodily functions. We'll talk about that
it's
just a little
interesting.
bit later.
I always feel like I've got something coming on. Like
Yeah, he
like
does.
an illness
Like,
coming
oh, I'm
on.
so
Like,
sick.
but now Cynthia's helped me understand that you don't have something coming on, you have something coming out.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
just,
Just hold on.
hang in there, and
yeah.
it'll come out.
If you find that it's a little bit too hard on you, just lengthen it out and do a little more than 10 days. Okay, be gentle, but don't stop until you've actually done a 10-day program with it, because you will find the difference. So you're going to take 5 of the Terrazymes a day, right? It's going to help rebuild muscle, but it's also going to help break down all the enzymatic needs in your body and digest your food and help reduce the toxic load. So phase 1 in the Activate, don't forget to drink water. A lot of it, half your body weight in ounces. Did I say that right? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 drops of lemon, or you can use lemon sassy oil, but I've just got it here. Lemon is fantastic. So we're just going to stick with lemon. Then let's just remember exercise. Try to do 3 days a week of something for at least a half an hour, and try to get your cardiovascular system working a little bit more. Try to refrain from those processed foods. Incorporate all the dark greens, leafy greens, dark fruits into your diet. And then try not to eat late, because the body just needs a time to relax and reset. And if we eat too late, it makes it sluggish for the next day. And we can also choose natural cleaning and personal care products. So if you haven't yet, consider just switching over completely. You can do it. I've been doing it for years now. It's awesome. And wouldn't you say it's awesome?
Yeah,
I think it's super
amazing.
awesome. And diffusing essential oils, fantastic way to get yourself to sleep. So you can do all these other things, but we just want you to know that this is extra support, and try to focus on one thing, because it's going to get super hard if you don't. Okay, so we have 10 days and we're going to reset. So this is our phase 2, the Terrazyme, the Zendocrine, the GX Assist, and the lemon. Okay. And it tells you on these little things, take 1 GX Assist with dinner. Okay. Now, sometimes it says to take it later at night, but taking it with dinner would help the body so that it doesn't quite get so dramatically opposed to the idea that you are detoxing. And I think Mark has experienced the drama of it. So, you can take it back a little, take it with dinner instead. Yeah. And I think that'll really help. But the complex, once again, we're taking that again. We're helping our body so that when we're doing the GX Assist, which is actually an actual cleansing, right? It's in the cleansing phase. The Zendocrine is going to help the liver so that it doesn't feel overloaded with everything that's happening, and the kidneys. We want the kidneys to feel good. Lemon helps that as well.
Yeah, so back off, don't bail out.
Yeah. Okay, phase 2 of reset, just remember, this is what you're going to take, okay? I put the Digestin bottle in there because sometimes you might feel a little bit queasy or something with this. So just take a little bit of Digestin, rub it on your belly, and that'll help relieve that. Okay, it's only 10 days. Remember that. It's not 2 years. It's just 10 days of each, okay? So keep drinking the water, keep taking your Terrazyme, your Zendocrine complex, and your lemon oil. And remember to drink that water. Just don't forget. And now we're into week 3. That was pretty fast, right? We went through week 1, week 2, and now we're into week 3. Now this is kind of cool because now we're going to renew some of the things that have been going on. So no more really deleting things from your body, eliminating. We're actually going to help it restore. So you were going to add the probiotic, the PB Assist. Now probiotics are super important for the body. Your body has billions of little necessary bacteria in its system, and it has to have that in order to function properly. But when it gets overloads, it stops from functioning. And so we need to make sure that it can function properly all the time. I love the PB Assist because it's a delayed response. And so you actually get it where it needs to be, which is in your gut and not in your stomach getting digested with your food. So it's going to help grow the right kind of flora. We're going to have less candida difficulties. You're going to be able to have your body have all the sources you're going to be able to eliminate properly with Terrazyme and the PB Assist. And the Terrazyme, once again, is going to help rebuild. It's going to help you rebuild and help the enzymatic processes in your body take place. And DDR prime is going to increase your cellular response for a healthy cell. Okay. We don't talk a lot about DDR prime, but DDR prime is fantastic to be taken internally to get your body back into a healthy response for growth. So it stops or curbs the cells that shouldn't be there from growing and helps encourage good cellular growth. And who doesn't need that?
Yeah.
Make you look younger, make you feel younger, make your body work more effectively. All of those things will happen with the renewal. And then again, we have the Zenderquin, I said that, Terrazyme, and the lemon. And you're going to do that for 10 days. Okay, so here we are. I'm just going to reiterate. You're going to take 2 soft gels of the DDR prime every day, and then 3 PB Assist capsules with dinner. And then you can do this kind of a cleanse 1 to 2 times a year. So don't think about, okay, I've done this for 30 days. I have to do it again in another 2 months. No, back off and use some of these products to help maintain your system. But try to remember when you detox, you really don't want to stress your system frequently. So the most I would ever do it would probably be 3 times a year. But, you know, remember not to do it too much. Your body needs a chance to rebuild and a chance to have this great experience actually work in it rather than be depleting it all the time. So here we are: activate, reset, renew, and then recover in place. It doesn't take much. Just add some exercise, use your LLV, and then do these other things that we've said. So just with these simple things. So, you know, it might not seem that simple, but it's really simple. When you just use these complexes the way it's stated, you can get a lot of bang for your buck, and they'll last you quite some time if you're not taking them consistently, right? If you're not using the GX Assist for its whole 30-day program, you'll have enough to renew again and again and again. So it's going to help with that. So in all of these are extremely, such an amazing amount of product is what you're getting, okay? These are all of the oils that are included. You'll see on the one side, they're fantastic for your gut, your liver, your endocrine system, your, I'm trying to think of all the names of everything right now besides kidneys, but we'll just go with, these are all going to help open up the body, get rid of heavy metals. It's going to help improve, boost your circulatory system so that we get more oxygenation in your body, which will help kill any kind of problems that you might have and help the body be rejuvenated. Plus, you need these enzymes. You need the enzymes in order to have a healthy gut response and healthy stomach response. So these are the enzymes that are included. So you have the protease and papain and amylase, probably saying that wrong, lipase and lactase, and it goes on and on. So you're getting all of these incredible enzymes as well. And I just didn't realize how important it is for post-athletic response to be taking enzymes so that the body isn't just breaking down the muscles, but it's actually rejuvenating. And then we don't have so many problems with excess inflammation when we exercise, because we actually are helping the body respond to recovery and building again. So, whoops, now Mark's going to talk about the other one that comes up a bit.
Yeah, so one of the other topics that is coming up especially a lot right now is how do
And with men,
I
a
deal
lot
with
with men.
stress? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, men don't want to admit it, right?
Yeah, it's probably true.
If we get really honest, we're all under a lot of stress, and especially the last 6 months has been a very stressful time, and a lot of unknowns, a lot of change, and just a lot of things that are stressing us out. So people have asked, how do I deal with stress? What are some of the suggestions that can be used to deal with stress? So I want to share tonight or today, I want to share two levels of dealing with stress, kind of the entry level and then the graduate level, if you will. So stress is all around us, and what do we do? Interesting. I'm going to talk about this from a man's standpoint. Men. So okay. So let's focus on how we as men process stress and deal with stress versus how maybe a woman would. Important to keep in mind that number one, we as men process stress differently because of the way our hormones work. And it's really interesting to remember and keep in mind that also this is rooted in our primitive humankind response, but we are now dealing with it in a modern world. So we have these just basic human responses, but we've been transported into this modern world, and we have to learn how to deal with that. So real quickly, it goes back to, that's how strong I am. It goes back to our basic human response of fight or flight, right? From our primitive ancestors. And, if I was the man and I had to go out and provide food for my family and I'm out hunting and all of a sudden a woolly mammoth is chasing me, my body responds to that situation with the fight or flight response. And what it does is it immediately spikes my system with this hormone cocktail that gets me ready to deal with this situation. And that's composed of three components. The first is adrenaline. And adrenaline gets my body, it just spikes my body with hormones that help my heart pump faster, increases my blood pressure, dilates my blood vessels, and releases the ability to process energy much more efficiently. So you just have this spike of immediate energy and ability to process a lot of blood through your body. Cortisol is the other one, and cortisol again is a hormone that spikes the body with the ability to process glucose energy much more quickly, and it actually affects the brain specifically to be able to process that energy and to be able to respond and think more quickly and more clearly.
Also gives you your spare tire.
Yes, it does.
Or somebody's.
The third spare tire would be useful in running away from
focused.
That tire. The third hormone that is released is oxytocin. And with all of this heightened energy and responsiveness, oxytocin actually is the only one of the three that is kind of a calming agent that acts to calm our emotions so that we can actually be more focused and not be like just totally freaked out. So we're ready to fight or flight. Our bodies are primed and ready. And then the oxytocin comes in and it helps to manage the emotions so that we can really focus and be successful. Now, the interesting thing here as men, our adrenaline cortisol release is quite high, and our oxytocin release is much lower than it is for women. So we have that balance of things to deal with. What that translates to is that we have the opportunity to channel that cocktail of hormones in a productive way. And rather than fighting against it, we can work with that natural response and channel those hormones in a productive way. So while we're in that heightened state, it's a great time to fix the problem, whatever it is that's causing the stress. We can really focus on it. We can make progress on it. And whether it's something at work, whether your boss has put a deadline on you, or whether it's you're worried about your job, or whether it's you're worried about the money, or whatever it is, it's an opportunity when you're feeling that stress to, rather than let it freak you out, to say, well, I'm in this heightened state. Why don't I go focus that on actually fixing that problem or addressing that problem and making progress on it? If it's something that's out of your control, then it's a great time to tackle maybe some of those projects that have been sitting on the back burner, or tackle the honey-do list, or you can go out and get involved in doing more service or your favorite hobby, but just channel that heightened ability in a productive area. Physical activity is another great way for us as men to get out there and use our big muscles and do something that's going to help us channel that energy.
Yeah, like Mark likes to go out and what?
I like to go out and mountain bike.
Yeah.
That's
Now
what
that
I
we
do.
finished the 2 kitchens in the house.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. That's project.
That was stressful.
That was stressful, but like 11 or 12 o'clock at night every night, that's a good way to burn off that energy.
Yeah, you burned it all off, I'll tell you.
The other thing here is to actually step back and be aware that there are very non-productive responses as well. And because we have this heightened cocktail pushing us to be really active, and our hormones our emotions, because of the lower oxytocin, is not modifying our emotions, then it's easy to get emotionally out of balance as well.
Yeah.
So,
True.
and that can be a very non-productive
So
thing.
what do you do?
So we can get involved in things like retaliation, or taking it out on somebody else, or avoidance,
That sounds terrible.
escaping, those kinds of things. Yeah, not good stuff. Or we as men tend to bottle up our emotions as well, and not really take care of ourselves and not process that. So those are the kinds of things that that can be a non-productive way of working with our hormones. So answer to your question, what do I do?
Yeah, what do you do?
So what I do is what I talked about just a minute ago. Really focus on the issue at hand, be realistic about what I can fix, what I can address and what I can't, and do as much as I can on the problem at hand. And then with that excess energy, go do something else that's productive and that's useful. The other thing is be realistic about the emotions. We as men tend to think, well, yeah, I can just power through this, or I can work this through. It's not a problem. It's not an issue. But we do have emotions tied to this, and they tend to be buried and kind of brushed over a lot of times by us men. So we have to be realistic, and at some point come back and process those emotions. So here's some tips on ideas for working with those emotions and productive ways of working through and processing those emotions. Number one is to set the stage. Once you recognize that it's something that needs to be processed, then give yourself a little bit of space here to be more productive with it. And what I find is get some good sleep, because when we're stressed, we tend not to sleep well. So back off, try to calm down, give yourself some space to get some good rest. Don't neglect your nutrition. Keep good foods and water coming in, and then use oils and supplements that help with mood management. It's just amazing to me that the way these things work. It's remarkable every time I open up that bottle. And my go-tos now are these three. Arbor Vitae has been a favorite of mine for a long time. And more recently, I've discovered how incredible Intune is for me personally. And the adaptive blend is great. And I open up that bottle and I smell it, take 5 or 6 deep breaths, and it just immediately calms my emotions. It focuses me.
It's kind of remarkable, isn't it?
I feel this peace. I feel this. It's just amazing to me. And there's science behind it, because our olfactory intake is one of the shortest and most effective pathways to the brain and to the emotional center of the brain. And so it makes sense that these would be that effective. So do yourself a favor and set the stage for processing those emotions. And if you're really stressed and your emotions are all just all over, step back, get some good sleep and nutrition, but step back, take a deep breath. And while you're breathing, people always say, well, breathe, which is great. It does. It helps.
It's amazing.
But if you're breathing, also breathe in these wonderful products that actually calm your emotions
and faster. I think that's the key. You can breathe a whole bunch, but if you take these, it reduces the time that you need to spend breathing.
It does.
Like we breathe all the time, but
true.
Not focus breathing.
Not deep breathing. And then take time to process those emotions. You need to set aside time. You need to actually focus on it, just like you focused on fixing things. Now it's time to focus on processing those emotions. 2 of the best ways are journaling. And actually, the experts tell us, and I've found this to be true, the physical motion of writing is a very productive way of helping to process and get those emotions out.
It's like cross brain training is what it is.
Yeah.
And so you're actually doing a physical activity, and it's responding to the brain and helping to create synapses.
So you're actually making those
focusing on it and the movement.
So journaling, physically writing is a good way. Typing on a keyboard is similar to that. Usually not quite as effective as writing, but it's a good way to do it as well. And then for some people, talking is the way they process. So find somebody you trust, a friend, a loved one, someone or a professional that you can talk through and process those emotions.
It doesn't hurt to pay somebody to listen to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, let me back up here. Sorry. Okay, so that's the beginning way that I suggest that you can approach dealing with stress. And there's a graduate level. There's a second step on this. I think we're maybe a little short on time. Should we save this for just next time?
Show it. Just
I'll do it real quickly. Okay, so.
Okay, and then
this is the advanced strategy. So there's a flip in mindset here. We tend to look at stress as the enemy, as the problem, and something we want to get rid of. The advanced strategy is flipping that to saying, well, stress and pain have a purpose. There's a reason why I'm experiencing this. And what it turns out is that those are actually messengers. They're here to tell us that something is wrong. And so that the pain and the stress have a message for us. So an advanced strategy is, number 1, find a quiet place where you can meditate, where you can really focus.
If you're lucky, you can go to the beach.
You can go to the beach and put up your hammock. for Cynthia, that would be the place. For me, it would be up on a mountain somewhere. But I would take my Intune with me.
And probably your hammock.
Probably my hammock. but find a quiet place where you're not going to be interrupted, where you can really process and meditate through this. And then the idea is to have a conversation with that pain. So find a quiet place and then actually have the conversation. The conversation goes something like, okay, I know, pain, you've been with me. You've been my antagonist here for all this time. And I'm going to just have this conversation with you. So I understand that you're a messenger. You're not the enemy. And I'm just asking you, what are you trying to tell me? What is the message you're trying to deliver to me? And then just listen, just stop and listen. and be open to insights. And it's remarkable what will happen. The impressions, the inspiration, the insights that you will have as to why you're experiencing this and what the root is, and even what you can do about it are really remarkable.
It's really great to
So,
get in tune with
yeah.
your body, and in tune is a perfect word for that one.
Yep.
Thanks so much for
Okay.
being here. Please remember that we're coming to countdown times with doTERRA. I'm sure that they'll be doing some BOGOs and other things really soon here. And we want you to be able to have the best benefits that you can receive. So check out some of the doTERRA products that have come out, and the packages that where you can do something for 3 months for your immune system, or for pain, or for your digestive system, or so many other situations, mood swing. So check it out and see what you can find. If you have any questions, please, send a message this direction. We'll be glad to help you get the right direction and find the information that you're looking for. And we'll see you next week. We're hitting up on Thanksgiving pretty soon, which is also his birthday. So happy birthday early.
Thank you.
And we'll see you then. Thanks again.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.